I'm Drusilla Riviere, and this is a review of the movie Enola Holmes.
Now, where to begin? My mother named me Enola, which backwards spells alone. And yet, we were always together. And it was wonderful.
Enola Holmes is a smart, quirky and clever sister to Sherlock Holmes, and her story is about the mission of finding her missing mother. It is set in 1884. Here are 3 things I liked about it. The costumes are beautiful and fit the characters, the time and the setting. We have a very smart, intelligent, leading female protagonist. And I love the boots. They are just so beautiful. They're beautiful. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I highly recommend that you go and watch the trailer. Now, open up a new tab, should be somewhere in that direction. Go into YouTube and search Enola, spelt alone but backwards, Holmes trailer. Even if you've already seen it, I highly recommend that you watch it again. You can pause this and hit play on that. Okay, well, what did you think? Here are my 3 favourite things about this movie. We're still spoiler free. I love the fourth wall breaks. They're funny and quirky and show her character really well. The mother-daughter relationship is done very well and is fun to watch. And the martial arts was well executed. Get it? No, seriously, it's not that gory. If you plan to watch the movie, I wish to tell you that this movie is fun to watch. It flows well enough, and if you don't think too much about the plot, you enjoy it. This movie was also very beautiful and really nice to look at, especially if you like me and love anything and everything Victorian.
I must become something unexpected. A lady.
The casting was great, and I loved Millie Bobby Brown's portrayal of Enola Holmes. There was also effort put into making the cast diverse, however there was also a lack of LGBTQ+, or queer people. Now, there will be spoilers from here onwards. You have been warned. Here are 3 more things I liked about this movie before we get into some slight problems. Often in movies, corsets are portrayed as torture devices from hell. But in this movie, they're actually a bit of a saving grace. Also, whenever Enola is struggling, we get flashbacks to her as a child. I love this. It is shown how she's grown and what she's learned. I also love that throughout the story, we have all these cards or animations of different characters and settings. It really helps to ground the story in this time, as they are so deeply Victorian and have that real feel about them.
So then it was just the 2 of us, and it was wonderful.
Now for the negatives, and I'm sorry, I am quite harsh. The story of this movie was written very badly. It was as though they set up the main missions of the story, finding the mother, and then realised that a young girl can't be on her own, so as soon as she's left her brother, she's taken into the care of another man. No, if you want to write a strong female lead, you've got to let them be strong on their own. In terms of the setup and the first act, it is extremely important that Enola has more time by herself. And also that where her mother is bombing is something that needs to be found out. And her mother must know nothing of another possible person voting on the Reform Bill. Also, the very first time we actually see mention to the Reform Bill is an angry man shouting in favour of it. It looks like somebody you shouldn't listen to. In terms of directing, changing the energy of that character and also defining what the Reform Bill actually means earlier on, because it becomes so crucial at the end, would have made the objective so much clearer. By combining the 2 focuses of the story, finding the mother and saving the boy, we'll never feel as though everyone just forgot the whole part about the mother. Enola pretends to be a lady very early on, and she does a very good job without having any experience with poise and being ladylike. Where did she get that? Then, later on, she learns that stuff. For no reason. She could have escaped the boarding school at any time she wanted to. And if you really wanted her to be rescued by a man, set up a reason why she had to escape with somebody else. By the way, I'm not actually sure what was the tension scene in this movie. Was it the scene where they go back to Basilwater? Or whatever the name was? Because that whole scene was very stupid. Question time! Name all your questions about the scene where they go back to Basilwater. Go! Why were they going there? Why were they so loudly calling out? Was the grandma good or was she bad? Why was the boy wearing armour? Is it because Enola had been saved with the corset? But then how would he know about that? Why did he take the armour off immediately afterwards? It could come in handy again. How did he put it on so quietly? It's armour, it's metal. Why couldn't we see anything that was happening? How did the man in the brown bowler's hat survive a full room of explosives? Why did we have smart characters about to do something, ask why they were doing it, not have an answer, and then just go and do it? And why didn't we have an after-credits scene where all the men were wearing Enola's clothes? Okay, that last one wasn't from that scene, but still, why? Now, back to the ending. When Enola says goodbye to the boy, I honestly have no idea what his name was, let alone how to pronounce it. He should be going to vote on the bill in, let's say, about an hour's time. That gives us a good ticking clock for what is about to happen. Then, when Enola gets the message in the newspaper, it should be Enola's mum saying for her to meet in the place where the boy is about to vote. Of course, not actually saying that the boy is about to vote there, just saying the place. I just have no memory of what it was. When Enola goes to where her mother asked to meet her, Enola and all the suffragettes should be about to blow the parliament up, or wherever the boys voting, I've got no memory. And Enola must tell them to stop and say that this is not the way or whatever. Saying that the bill may just pass in another way. And because you can, Edith, the black fighting instructor, it could be anyone, I'm just saying Edith because it'd be nice to see more of her character. Edith, the fighting instructor, says to watch the men vote. The women should go through a passage and watch the parliament from above. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be looking through, some kind of grate or something. By the way, I'm not making this up. Women did actually used to spy on parliament from above. And I thought it'd be a pretty cool thing to include in this story. It could be Enola who suggests for them to look from above, seeing as she is our protagonist. It'd be nice to end with her helping the other women. Anyway, so the women watch what is happening. It's all very dramatic. Then they celebrate because the reform bill passed, mainly because of all Enola's previous actions. But let's say, in the version that I've created throughout this review, the tension scene is the scene in the parliament. But done in a way that doesn't mean it just fits into place, that Enola still has to do one little thing in order to get this bill passed. In this story, we learn that violence isn't always the best way to do things, as her mother was trying to do. But also being too proper is not what you should do either. To win, you should use your wits. After all, isn't that what Enola Holmes is all about?
Tis I.